Welcome back everyone, Jose201 Crisis here, and I know this took a long time, I know, I am aware, but welcome back to another episode of the Mendoza Career here on F1 Challenge 9902. Round 11 marks our second visit to Germany for the official German Grand Prix at the Hockemheimring, where else in Hockenheim. When compared to the Nürburgring GP Strecke, the Hockemheimring is very clearly a very different track. It is composed of mostly gigantic straights with just a few chicanes separating them, as well as the final sector, the stadium sector. This means that cars must be set up for top speed. Overtaking is very possible as long as you have superior speed or superior braking compared to your opponents. These massive straights provide two things. First, it provides an area where drivers can just relax since there's not much steering input that has to be applied to the cars. On the other hand, the engines right behind them will suffer simply because they will be at top RPMs for a very long time. Downforce requirements for this track are extremely low. They aren't the lowest in the calendar, and the reason for that is that the Sector 3 still demands a certain level of downforce to be taken correctly. However, in terms of tire wear, it has very minimal tire wear. The maximum load is around Sector 3 and down the straights. And down the straights, the car is capable of cooling down the tires, so the tire wear is really not significant around the Hockemheimring. Most of the time, this race will be a fairly straightforward one-stop or two-stop strategy, but there is a little bit of an issue, at least on Sunday. There's rain coming. This rain is expected to fall by the final laps of the race, which means strategies, again, one-stops or two-stops, shouldn't be much affected, but still the fact that there will be rain means that the teams will have to adjust the strategies. The one-stoppers will have to be careful and be prepared for the rain, and the two-stoppers will really prefer to be able to hold out long enough, at least on the second stop, to pit right when the rain hits. Based on previous performances, we can see that some teams' performance ratings have changed. McLaren Mercedes gone up to 96 points of performance, followed by Ferrari, who managed to gain back a few points but are still plenty far back, about 3.3 points in performance. Not exactly a full 10, but plenty far back is Jaguar Cosworth, who did gain a full point. They are the team most improved from the previous race, but still plenty far away from Ferrari. A team far away from Jaguar is also the Jordan team, 1 point behind. That's despite the fact that they also had some improvements, but not enough to keep up with Jaguar. Benetton is trying to close the distance with Jordan, but not successfully so far. The one team that is successfully catching is BAR, the second most improved team, it's actually a tie between them and Minardi, but they're pretty close to Benetton at this point. Williams, the first year of the BMW-Williams partnership, not gone as well as they would have expected, but they're getting a bunch of data. They are a bit behind the Jaguar, Jordan, Benetton, BAR group, but they're surely closing the distance at times. Arrows, bit of an improvement, definitely ahead of Sauber, who improved half a point over Arrows' 0.8 points. Arrows getting a bit of an advantage there. Prost still have not managed a single improvement for quite a long time. Minardi does manage to get some improvements, but again, they are plenty far away from Prost. As for team value, Mika Häkkinen second place in the previous race did manage to get him some value points. David Coulthard's 5th place did not do good for his reputation. Michael Schumacher at 100 definitely achieved his objectives, while Rubens Barrichello loses some points for failing to meet their objectives. Heinz-Harald Frentzen doesn't change much, mostly because he did manage to meet exactly the objectives Jordan Teeth had for him. Jarno Trulli, on the other hand, loses some points. Say hello to Eddie Irvine, he's back from his sickness from the previous race, so Luciano Berti will return to the test driver seat for the Jaguar team. Alex Mendoza does improve some points. The Williams drivers don't move a lot, mostly because they are already highly rated. Giancarlo Fisichella and Alexander Wurz lose some reputation points. They did not perform as expected. Prost, Headrillaz, Nick Heidfeld performing about where we expect them to. Nick Heidfeld putting a very solid season so far according to our experts. Pedro Diniz, Mika Salo don't move as much, same with De La Rosa and Verstappen. Margini and Gaston Mazzacane are fairly similar in their standings. Jacques Villeneuve with 100, very highly rated, the 97 champion compared to his teammate who is at a 0. And now with the preliminaries done, it's time to head into qualifying and see where everyone will line up. And it's once again Michael Schumacher on pole position, but the next slot is very unexpected. Giancarlo Fisichella puts it on second, just 700th of a second behind Michael Schumacher. This is definitely his best qualifying result of the season. Mika Häkkinen is third, just barely behind Giancarlo Fisichella, but he is behind him. Just amazing results from the Benetton man. Jordan Trulli is fourth in his Jordan 210s behind Mika Häkkinen. Fifth place will be David Coulthard. Sixth, Jenson Button, who beats his teammate, one of the local heroes, Ralf Schumacher, of course, his brother Michael being the local hero for Germany. Jacques Villeneuve in 8th, Rubens Barrichello in 9th, not having a good qualifying session. Right behind him is Ricardo Sonta in 10th. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, not a good qualifying session compared to his teammate Trulli. He starts in 11th. Alexander Wurz, even worse qualifying session. Then again, Giancarlo Fisichella did overperform his car, at least that's what we believe. He is in 12th. Eddie Irvine in 13th with Alex Mendoza in 14th, around the place we expected the Jaguars to be. Headrillaz and Nick Heidfeld 15th and 16th with Jos Verstappen in 17th, Mika Salo 18th, Pedro de la Rosa 19th with Marc Genet and Gaston Mazzacane, the Minardi boys 20 and 21st. Pedro Diniz, underperforming in qualifying, is in 22nd. And if you need a reminder of what's at stake today, Michael Schumacher has a 4-point lead over Mika Häkkinen, 62 to 58. David Coulthard is fighting it out with Rubens Barrichello, 42 to 37, with Alex Mendoza in 5th place with a significant difference to both Barrichello ahead and Jarno Trulli behind. Right now the Jordan duo is fighting for 6th place with Jacques Villeneuve wanting that position as well. Eddie Irvine in 9th position also would like to overhaul both Jacques Villeneuve, Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Jarno Trulli. Ralf Schumacher, Giancarlo Fisichella, Jenson Button and Ricardo Zonta are trailing. Would like some points today. We'll see if they get some points today. As for the constructor standings, McLaren Mercedes have a 1-point lead over Ferrari. Third place is right now Jaguar Cosworth, and I doubt that will change for the remaining of the year unless Jordan managed to put together a good enough package to overhaul Jaguar, but that will be quite a stretch with not that many races to go. VAR Honda, Williams BMW and Benetton Playlife are the only teams that have scored points so far. Williams would like to catch up and overtake VAR Honda, but we will see if that's a reality. Right? Everything's done. So far the sky is clear. Only one way to find out what will happen is to get down there, see the results. So clear skies so far, and we hope that remains the norm for now. The clutches are ready, the lights are on, and the race is on. Michael Schumacher, solid start from Michael Schumacher, decent enough start from Giancarlo Fisichella, won't be threatening Michael Schumacher, but manages to hold on to second position. Mika Häkkinen right behind, definitely wants to begin hunting down Michael Schumacher right away. Jarno Trulli right behind Mika Häkkinen, trying to find a gap and defend himself from David Coulthard, manages to do the defense but not the attack. Mika Häkkinen trying to attack Giancarlo Fisichella, can he do it? No, he cannot. In the first corner, Michael Schumacher now is streaking away. I see Mendoza climbed up a few positions on that opening section of the lap. Solid job from him. Fisichella under heavy pressure from Mika Häkkinen. Can he manage to get it done in this corner? Mika Häkkinen does get it done in this corner. Mika Häkkinen now up to second and will probably try to hunt down Michael Schumacher, who has built a significant gap just in this very first in these two sectors alone, thanks to Fisichella's scores. The Benetton, solid performance in qualifying but not as fast in the races, especially in this first lap. We do not know the fuel loads, but I can guarantee you the Benetton is nowhere near as fast as the Ferrari in race stream. Into the stadium section, Michael Schumacher, I'm pretty sure the stadium goers are really happy with what they're seeing. Michael Schumacher dominates the opening lap and they hope that this remains the norm for the entirety of the race. Careful with the lockup there, Michael, you do not want to crash out of this race. And on to complete the final lap, it is Michael Schumacher from Mika Häkkinen, you can see them there. Giancarlo Fisichella, Jarno Trulli, I'm pretty sure behind him was David Coulthard, and I'm not sure who's behind them, but so far it is German dominance at the front. We will see how it remains. Okay, I can see them, it's David Coulthard and Rubens Barrichello. 8th position for Alex Mendoza. He told us that his qualifying performance is definitely not what the car can do. He's up to P8 now, trying to overtake Jacques Villeneuve. I'm gonna call that a racing incident because Mendoza could have left more space and I think Villeneuve could have done a better job to stay on the track. So racing situation. Anyway, Mendoza is coming for Villeneuve's 7th position. He will try to get it here. He does. Clean enough move. Some contact there at the end, but Mendoza does enough to stay ahead out of the corner. Mendoza up to P7, now on to P6, and there's a battle up ahead. Fisichella holding up everyone. Another driver trying to make up for that terrible qualifying is Heinz-Harald Frentzen. His teammate qualified. It was in 4th position. Frentzen qualified much lower down. He's trying to make his way up the field, but it's difficult. Overtaking in Formula 1. Oh no, that's going to be a DNF for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Maybe a brake issue, maybe a suspension issue. His charge up the field will be interrupted by the unreliability of the Jordan. Very unfortunate for him. I think he had the potential to finish in the points because the Jordan is a very fast car, but that is Heinz-Harald Frentzen out of this event. You see stuff like this and you wonder how exactly Giancarlo Fisichella managed to put his car in 2nd position. Michael Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen are gone. Right now is Fisichella on 3rd position, holding, admittedly, doing a solid job holding on, holding Jarno Trulli and David Coulthard and Rubens Barrichello and Alex Mendoza in this little train that he has. The camera now is on Jarno Trulli, who has been struggling a bit to pass Fisichella, he definitely needs to find a way to... Oh! That's not the way. That's not the way to overtake Fisichella. I see. Little cheeky move from Mendoza there. Maybe the stewards will look into that because it was overtaking under yellow flags, but on the other hand, you can argue it was evading a car stopped on track anyway. Jarno truly loses big, so he's gonna have to make up for it somehow. I believe that Mika Häkkinen right now is just managing the race. We believe he is on a one stop, so he doesn't really need to push really hard to catch Michael Schumacher. He will get them on the pit stop, so he can just cruise around. He cannot cruise around anymore because he spun off in the final corner and he cannot get the car moving anymore. It's that's big for the championship. That is a Mika Häkkinen DNF. If Michael Schumacher finishes this race, that's something interesting. We need to check on that. If Michael Schumacher finishes and wins this race, that's gonna be big for the championship. So this is on board with Mendoza, David Coulthard and Giancarlo Fisichella fighting for third place, for now second place actually, now that I think of it, because Mika Häkkinen DNF. Yellow flags, so no one can overtake. David Coulthard managed to get the position. Cheeky Mendoza closing up the gap despite the yellow flags. Careful you two, Fisichella nearly pushing out David Coulthard out of the racetrack, and Mendoza is coming up behind them. Not quite trip wide, but he does manage to pass two drivers in one straight. Very smart driving there for Mendoza, and it's worse for Coulthard because he also lost the position back to Fisichella. David Coulthard the biggest loser here, and Rubens Barrichello is also right behind him. So eventually Giancarlo Fisichella did lose his position. That's him at the background defending from Rubens Barrichello. David Coulthard to chase down Alex Mendoza, and Mendoza just made the job for him thanks to a little spin there. I'm not sure if Mendoza was trying to save and got distracted, or if he was trying to push too much and got distracted as well. There goes Giancarlo Fisichella losing another position. Mendoza lost the position as well. He's definitely not catching Coulthard. The Mercedes engine is much too powerful compared to the Cosworth, and it's just a better handling car, so Mendoza sillily loses a position. So it's time for the first pit stop cycle, at least for the two stoppers. Alex Mendoza, we heard, is coming in on this lap. Being very careful due to the low downforce configuration. It is very easy to lose control in the low speed corners and the braking zone, so he has to be careful not to crash into the pit entry. Doesn't seem like he'll have any issues, and in he goes for his stop. Now that he's coming out, I wonder where he will end up. My computer says he is in P6. I think I see ahead. Yeah, that's Ricardo Sonta. Computer says P6. It is fact P6. Now let's see where he ends up after the cycle ends. Michael Schumacher, with zero worry in the world, should be coming in for his first stop. That is indeed his first stop. In he goes. Clearly means he's on a two-stop, which explains the pace he had relative to Mika Häkkinen and the pace he has right now relative to David Coulthard. Speaking of, the gap between the two is so significant that even with this stop, Michael Schumacher will be clearly ahead of David Coulthard. At least if the images did not show it clear enough, Michael Schumacher is significantly ahead of David Coulthard. Just a little reminder for everyone that doesn't really understand the irony of the situation. Alex Mendoza is effectively driving the car Rubens Barrichello used in the previous year. Well, not quite technically, because the 1999 Stewart and the 2000 Jaguar are a bit different, but that's effectively the seat Rubens Barrichello would have had if he didn't get that offer from Ferrari that has him in the position he is right now, and he's getting raced pretty hard there, not getting let through. On board with Ralf Schumacher as he comes out in 7th position behind Giancarlo Fisichella quite a way down from Fisi. Remember, he started second and he's now in 6th position, but I'm seeing very interesting things. The rain that was expected throughout the entire weekend, it seems like it's coming here. It's just cloudy. Maybe there might be no rainfall, but it's definitely here. Also, you couldn't see it from the previous camera angle, but Jarno Trulli is pestering Ralf Schumacher, trying to get his position, but so far, no dice. And I'm pretty sure the locals will want Ralf to defend his position as much as possible. Remember, BMW engine and Ralf Schumacher being a local, definitely wants to hold on to the position. I think I see some raindrops, and this is probably what the Jaguar men did not want, because their cars are set up with even less downforce than some of the other cars, precisely because they wanted to run on the dry as long as possible, and they wanted to sacrifice Sector 3 in order to have good top speed in Sector 1 and Sector 2 and be able to defend. That's definitely gonna harm them, and especially since the Ferrari generates so much downforce, I think Mendoza is eventually gonna be a sitting duck as the weather becomes worse and worse. And the weather kept getting worse. These guys are definitely gonna have to come into the pits. I don't know what tires they will put on, intermediate, wets. The weather in theory is not gonna stay here very long. It's a passing storm, if you want to put it that way. It's a passing rain. It's not gonna stay here for very long, so they might want to put intermediates to have some grip when the track starts to dry out. Or maybe they want to put extreme wets, not extreme wets, those are the monsoon tires and we don't have those here. Maybe they want to put on the wets so that they have the most grip possible when the rain is at its worst, but they are coming in. Both Alex Mendoza and Rubens Barrichello are coming in. I saw some Team Maranello guys running out. They definitely weren't for Michael Schumacher. Here are the guys for Jaguar as well. It's a race in the stops. Who will come out ahead? And it looks like they remain as is. Careful there, you don't want the Benetton and Jaguar drivers tangling up. I think that was Giancarlo Fisichella perhaps? Maybe I'm wrong. Both have picked the intermediate tires. Say again, I'm seeing, I know you're not seeing, but just believe me on this one. Both Barrichello and Mendoza have picked the intermediate tires, so they went for the conservative strategy, hoping that the rain does go away. A significant gap that Mendoza made up after the pit stop, but let's see. I doubt that one will hold. There can't be better conditions for the man they call the Regen Master, the Rain Master, the wet conditions that Michael Schumacher so much loves, and he will that's a possible, no way, from the lead. From a significant position, that's Michael Schumacher out of this race. From the lead, from a comfortable lead, he wasn't pushing or anything. And now David Coulthard will go into the lead of this race. He will inherit the lead. I'm pretty sure the only Germans happy are the Mercedes-Benz engineers. The spectators in the stands, I'm pretty sure are gonna begin filing out after that DNF. What a disappointment. I guess I was wrong. I was thinking that this fight was gonna be over a few laps ago, but Barrichello has not been able to find a way past Mendoza, and it's lap 42 now. This one plus an X3, so that's 4 laps to go, and all Mendoza has to do to hold on to the podium is to just hold Barrichello behind. Not much to go, and he's not going out of the... That's engine smoke. Mendoza will be out of this race. That's an engine failure. The second DNF for the Jaguar Cosworth driver. Second time the engine fails on him. He's not gonna be able to finish this race, and from a very, very good points position as well. I am aware this is the final lap of the race, and I am aware David Coulthard is about to win the German Grand Prix. inheriting the lead from Michael Schumacher. You can say it is a bit of an undeserved win, but he did what he had to do, and compared to, say, Rubens Barrichello, he didn't get stuck in traffic other than Giancarlo Fisichella, who we can see here defending from Ralf Schumacher. Very good job in the end to hold on to the podium. He is in third position, not exactly the position that we're expecting him to be at, considering other threats, but he's gonna be fine. Rubens Barrichello is gonna finish second unless something happens like it happened to his teammate. Third is Giancarlo Fisichella, and the only hope German fans have right now is in the form of Ralf Schumacher managing to find a way to pass Giancarlo Fisichella, although that seems a bit distant. It's very far. In fact, Jarno Trulli just went past him to get into fourth position. What happened with Ralf Schumacher there, trying to get the position back? He's not going to. He fell asleep, or what happened there? He was in the dominant position and Jarno Trulli just went past. I do not think it was just due to superior engine power from the Jordan, because the Mugen Honda engine, if I've read things correctly, I think the Mugen Honda engine has a slightly better power output than the BMW the Williams is using, but that's not enough to justify that kind of overtake. Something happened with Ralf Schumacher. I don't know if he fell asleep, had issues with traction, but he could have done better to defend that position. Truly trying to get past Giancarlo Fisichella now. I don't think he's gonna manage to do it. Remember, last time he tried, he made a big mistake, lost a bunch of positions, did manage to climb back behind Fisichella, but he's not gonna be able to overtake him. So it will be David Coulthard winning the German Grand Prix, Rubens Barrichello second, Giancarlo Fisichella rounding out the podium in third, Jarno Trulli fourth, with Ralf Schumacher fifth, and Jenson Button, who saw him coming, in sixth position. So at the end of this crazy race, we have that David Coulthard is the winner of the 2000 German Grand Prix, followed by Rubens Barrichello with a significant gain in positions. 7 positions gain, not bad for the Brazilian for Ferrari, defending a bit Ferrari's position in the Constructors' Championship. Giancarlo Fisichella in the end only loses 1 position, finishes third in this race in the podium. Jarno Trulli finishes fourth, exactly where he started. Ralf Schumacher finishes fifth. 2 places gained, but it definitely could have been much better. Jenson Button finishes sixth, exactly where he started. Right behind them, and with no points, are Jacques Villeneuve, Ricardo Zonta, Eddie Irvine, Marc Genet. Surprisingly good result for Marc Genet. That's a 10th place finish for the Minardi man. Then we have the Benetton of Alex Wurz, Pedro de la Rosa, Mika Salo, Pedro Diniz, and Jos Verstappen. In the DNF column, we have Alex Mendoza, Michael Schumacher, Nick Heidfeld, and Sean Lacey. Of course, Prost is gonna DNF on every race at this point. Gaston Matsakane, Mika Hakkinen, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Definitely not a good day for the German drivers. That will slightly affect the world driver standings, but not as importantly as you might expect. Michael Schumacher still leads 4 points ahead of Mika Hakkinen because of course both of them DNF. David Coulthard closes the gap a bit to Schumacher and his teammate Hakkinen, 52 to 58 and 62. Rubens Barrichello falls a bit backward, but he does manage to pull away from Alex Mendoza, who also DNF in this race. Jarno Trulli manages to break the tie for 6th position by getting 3 points and being ahead of, now tied for 7th place, teammate Frentzen and Jacques Villeneuve. There's a new tie for 9th position between Giancarlo Fisichella and Ralf Schumacher. Eddie Irvine is now in 11th, having earned no points in this race. Jenson Button is now 12th with 2 points to his name, and Ricardo Zonta is the last point scorer. In the constructor standings, McLaren Mercedes extend their lead from 1 point to 5 points over Ferrari. Jaguars stay where they are with 32 points. Jordan gained 3 points thanks to Jarno Trulli, they now have 17. A tie between BAR Honda and Williams BMW at 8 points. Now they're tied for 5th position, and the final point scorers are the Benetton team, who now have 6 points. Sauber, Arrows, Prost, and Minardi are still looking for their first points of the year. And that's it for this particular impactful episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're here for the next Grand Prix at Hungary. It will be the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hockemheimring in Budapest. I hope to see you there. Hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that this took so long, but I hope to be back with a few more episodes. See you soon. Goodbye.